Breadcrumbing is a form of abuse that is utilized by many narcissists, and I got to tell you, it can be very, very, very destructive. In fact, when we get to the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a couple sentences from an article that I found in Psychology Today that tells you just how devastating breadcrumbing can actually be. Now, you probably know what breadcrumbing is, but just to make sure, breadcrumbing is when somebody will string you along. You don't know if this person is interested in you or not. They want to be your friend or not. You don't know. Sometimes they act like they do. Sometimes they act like they don't. Now, that doesn't mean the person is a narcissist. That doesn't mean that they're doing this intentionally, but chances are it's probably what's going on. So you got to be careful not to prejudge somebody, but if you're being led on, you need to ask yourself, is this person doing it intentionally? What are the characteristics of a narcissist who is breadcrumbing you or anybody? Well, number one is they are reliably unreliable. Years ago when I was a pastor, we had a guy at our church who people said about him, they would say, you know, the thing that you can depend on, and they'd say his name, the thing you can depend on so-and-so is he's undependable. You can always count on so-and-so to not be accountable. He was just, he would be there, then he wouldn't be there. You think, okay, this guy is really into what we're doing, and then he'd just disappear. So this was cyclical over and over and over again. Maybe there's somebody in your life, and you feel like, yeah, this guy's interested in me. Or this woman, I think, wants to be my friend. You know, we got chemistry. We got it going on, I think. And then they disappear for a while, then they show up again. That is breadcrumbing, and you know they are leading you on purpose. Number two is we find that they are flippant. Flippant is a word that for some reason I just don't like that word because I don't know, I just don't like it. But what it means is lacking proper respect and seriousness. So I don't like the word, but it's useful. A person who is breadcrumbing is flippant. They can't be taken seriously, even though we do take them seriously, and then we're left confused. And that's why it's so damaging. We'll see that in just a moment. Number three, this seems to be a form of discarding and then hoovering, trying to bring you back in. If you're familiar with narcissism and how that cycle works, what a narcissist will do often is when he's done with somebody or she's done with somebody, they just discard them. But it's not a final discard because they just put you on the shelf and they'll come back and get you later when they want you. And when they do that, they try to hoover you back in or suck you back in like a vacuum cleaner, like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. That's where the word came from. Who came up with that? Got no idea, but yeah, that's a good term. So breadcrumbing seems to be a form of the cycle of discarding and hoovering. Number four is the narcissist expects you to be at their beck and call. Yeah, it's like they put you on a shelf. They take you when they need you, and when they're done with you, they put you on a shelf. We use a lot of things that we keep stored, right? We got a pantry, need something in the pantry, we'll go get it. When we're done with it, put it back. We have, utensils, plates. When we have dinner, we get those out, use them. When we're done, put them back. I did some work on my truck yesterday, cleaned it up, got out the power sprayer. And there were some things just so tough wouldn't power spray off. So I had to get out the scrub rags and some, spray on soap or whatever it is and try to get that tough stuff off. And when I was done, I put everything back. Put the power sprayer back, put the cleaning stuff back. I was done with it, and I may need it again in a few months. And when I do, I'll get it back out. That's you. You're the one that's being put back in the shelf or put back in the pantry or put back in the shed because the narcissist is done with you, and they'll come get you when they're ready. I don't know about you, but I don't like to be treated like that, and that shows that the narcissist is narcissistic. Number four, well, speaking of Beck and call, I had this other thing in my notes I wanted to mention. If you ever stay in a 4-star hotel or 5-star hotel, there is a person there typically called a concierge. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that right, but my French, But what is the job of the concierge? Well, to be at beck and call. If you're a guest at that hotel, you need something, there's this person, their job is to get it for you, so I guess you don't have to bother the other staff members. But at the end of your stay, one thing you are expected to do is tip that person. The interesting thing about the narcissist who is breadcrumbing, they don't leave tips. Number 5 is the breadcrumber. The narcissist will leave you feeling uncertain. This is very devastating. So this is worse than ghosting, where they just leave you alone, ignore. At least you know where they're at, or where they are in your relationship. If they ghost you, but when you have this feeling of uncertainty, you just don't know. Is this person interested in having a long-term friendship? Let's hang out, or is this person not? If it's a love interest, does this person want to go further in our love relationship? Maybe they want to get married. Well, I don't know, because they just disappeared. Oh, wait, they're back again. Now, 1 or 2 times, I guess we could endure that, but when it's persistent over an extended period of time, yeah, it taxes on our emotions heavily. Number 6 is you feel like an afterthought. Has anyone made you feel like an afterthought? Chances are your answer to that is many times. People do this. It's not always intentional, but with a narcissist, whether it's intentional or not, it is part of their personality profile. Everybody's an afterthought. Everybody is a tool to be stored away until they need them. And if they need them, they will take advantage of them to the advantage of the narcissist, not to the advantage of the victim. So if you're feeling like an afterthought in a relationship with somebody, maybe it's because you are. Number 7 is the narcissist who is breadcrumbing tends to be impulsive. They want immediate gratification from you. And that, by the way, is one of the traits of a narcissist. Everyone I've ever met is impulsive. They want gratification right now, and they don't think about the future. I've never met, well, I shouldn't say never, but I seldom have met a narcissist or a person with a lot of narcissistic traits who has a retirement program. First of all, they don't like to work. They don't have jobs. Second of all, they just don't think that far into the future. Now, again, there are exceptions to that, but the point is they're impulsive. They want to gratify themselves right here, right now. And what happens, at the end of the week or whatever, they don't think that far in advance, very seldom. So that is one of the indicators that you're dealing with a narcissist who is breadcrumbing because, well, they're using you for right now, and what happens after that? Well, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about you. They're certainly not thinking about your future because they're not thinking about their own future. All right, this article in Psychology Today, what did it have to say about it? Well, the author of the article said breadcrumbing triggers dependency behavior. Well, when I first read that, I was doing some research in preparation for this video, putting together my notes, and I found this article intriguing, but this particular paragraph really caught my attention because I thought, seriously? Breadcrumbing, how can it trigger dependency? And so I read it. Breadcrumbing employs reinforcers that stimulate dependency behavior, suspensefully waiting for likes, random messages, praise, encouraging comments, flirtatious texts, and photos, I guess, for example. The basic motivator of this behavior is the anticipation of reward. Then the second thing they said is helplessness. Breadcrumbing may cause a greater sense of helplessness than ghosting. We mentioned that earlier, remember? Compared to ghosting, when the relationship rather suddenly and completely ends, breadcrumbing lures the recipient into a long, extended, and continuous situation of being on standby, living with unpredictability and uncertainty while waiting for the breadcrumber to make a commitment. And as I read that, the thought came to mind that have you ever had a car that runs some of the time it doesn't, and you never know if it's going to start when you get into it? You ever had a computer that has problems, and you never know, is it going to work or is it not going to work? You just don't know. It's frustrating. And after a while, you lose your patience. You get mad. At least I do. Maybe you don't. But there's anything worse than something that is unreliable, that is undependable. And a computer or a car, they're inanimate. They're not people. They don't think. But a narcissist does this stuff by design. All right, number 3 in this article is loneliness. Breadcrumbing, by comparison, prolongs and extends a lonely period of feeling left out and being excluded from the breadcrumbers' social activities. The recipients of breadcrumbing in this study reported higher levels of loneliness on the UCLA loneliness scale. What worse feeling can there be? I'm talking about emotionally. What worse feeling is there than feeling left out, being lonely, being excluded, being not worthy, being one of the people that nobody else wants to be around? Loneliness, that's a horrible feeling, but that's part of breadcrumbing. So, I've been doing this for 70 years, living almost 70 years. I'll be 70 in a few months, but over these 7 decades, I've learned a thing or two. What I'm doing now is just sharing with you some of those things that I've learned. You do with it what you want. But that's why I make these videos, is based upon life's laboratory. I'm self-taught. I just want to pass this on to you, and hopefully I can be a benefit to you. And if you want to keep on talking about this, all you got to do is click on one of those 2 rectangles on the screen, and the conversation will keep on going. But if not, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you all next time.